Morning, guys. We're here again for part 2 with the legend Matt Legg. I just want to start by saying a massive shout out to Tripod Crest Northampton Limited for the sponsorship and obviously the work they do all over the country. Thank you very much, Tripod. And if anyone needs any planing, tarmac or civil engineering, get on them. So, here again, Matt.
Yeah, thank you for having me back, mate. Appreciate that.
Part 2 has been dying to happen.
Yeah.
We've been dying to make this happen because we didn't really scratch the surface in part 1. Not about your boxing career. We spoke about a lot of the great fights you've had. But we didn't really get down to the sparring and who you've sparred, where you've sparred. And look, listen, we're fighters. We both know through every spar, through every training session, there's always a story. There's always, so tell me about some of the sparring. Yeah,
well, I mean, as you know, sparring is the, can I just say, a lot of people, when you say about sparring, they think it's pad work. Not people that aren't boxing, into boxing as much. They think sparring is pad work.
Yeah.
I said to people about sparring, and they went, oh, what with the pads?
Yeah.
But sparring is obviously when you put the gloves on, and it's almost like a fight.
Yeah.
So it's the closest thing to the fight you can get, which is why it's probably the most important thing. I think it's the most important thing
definitely
to do in boxing because it is a replica of a fight. You've got your head guard on and you've got bigger gloves most of the time, but it's a fight, essentially a fight. It's not as aggressive.
You can still knock out and you can still get cut.
Yeah, you still get. I've seen lots of knockouts in sparring and broken ribs. I've given people broken ribs and I've been rocked and wobbled and only a couple of times, but it's sparring is rough.
Yeah.
I've had some spars with people like Matt Skelton, Chisora, Sam Sexton. Sam Sexton was a really good spar. He peppered me with shots, and you learn so much. I couldn't see some of the shots coming.
Great move of Sam Sexton.
Sam Sexton was really good,
Yeah.
He was very hard to spar, Sam. But then on the same thing, I sparred Derek Chisora, and I pushed Derek back, and I found Derek was didn't really trouble me at all, and I felt stronger. But that was Derek on the way up. He's obviously matured, and he's a great fighter now. Tyson Fury was one I sparred a few times.
Yeah, I remember.
I've got a few stories about Tyson, and what happened the first time I sparred him. He was on Facebook back then. He was well known on the British circuit.
Yeah.
He wasn't well known in the world at that point, and he was well known. But he put on Facebook, "All you British heavyweights, you're all chickens." He didn't say chickens. He said another word.
Yeah.
It's the same meaning.
Yeah.
He said, "You're all chickens. None of you will spar me, let alone fight me." So I went on there, and I hadn't trained for a couple of years. I was out of action, but I thought there's probably a few quid in this, and I thought he's going to be a future champion. So I thought it'd be good to get in with him. So I replied, "How much? I'll spar you. Like, when do you want to do it? And how much are you paying?" He put 10 grand if you knock me out. And I said, "All right, how much if I don't knock you out?"
Yeah.
It was quite a good little wage. It was a good wage it was only 4 rounds he wanted. So I said, "I'll come out there tomorrow." So I got on the train the next morning.
I actually remember this, man.
Do you remember? Yeah.
I remember. You was doing a few bits with me down at mine then.
Yeah, I'd done a little bit. I've been out of action for a while, though.
Yeah.
But I got on the train the next morning, went up to Manchester. Tyson and Shane picked me up, and we drove over to the caravan site, just the three of us.
Yeah.
Went on the caravan site and started warming up, and I was warming up thinking, it's only 4 rounds, I'll be able to do this easily. And then Shane got in, did the first round, then I got in, did the second, so we're doing a round each.
Yeah.
And
so Tyson done 8 in total.
8, yeah, and me and Shane both did 4 each against him. But I got in, and I realised straight away how good he was. His just movement and his boxing ability, and just the sheer size of him as well, the height, 6'9".
This was just after the first McDermott fight.
This was after the McDermott fight, so he was sort of I think
he was at a good level then.
British level, yeah, British level.
Yeah.
And I landed one punch in the 4th round. I landed one punch. It was a left hook right at the end, and it just caught. He never had a head guard on, but I caught him quite flush. But he just shook it off and then carried on. But I had a few marks. It didn't really hurt me, but I realised how good he was then. But I sparred with him another time, just before the James Toney fight, and that time he'd improved no end, and he got in. This was on a caravan site as well, and he got in at the last round, and he moved around me. He was going so fast on his feet, I couldn't even set myself to throw a punch. You know, you need to throw a power punch. You've got to sort of have your feet set.
And your opponent needs to be kind of set.
He was just going around throwing out his jab so quickly, I just couldn't even set myself. I burst out laughing at one point. I looked at the ring at Peter Fury and Mervyn. I just put my hands up. I can't do anything. And I realised then how good he was, which is why when he was up to fight Klitschko, I said to everyone, he's going to beat Klitschko. And everyone else was saying, no, you know yourself.
I think I spoke to you before it.
Yeah.
And you put me right. Because I was a Klitschko man.
Yeah. And Joe Egan was the same as me. He said,
I spoke to Joe.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we both said Tyson's going to win that, and then he went on to win it. And now he's known, everyone knows the level he is.
He's the man.
But at the very beginning, I could see the potential, So we had some good spars. He called me up as well. There's another story. He called me up before the Joshua fight. And you know what Tyson's like, he's quite funny.
Yeah.
He's funny. And he said, just go out for one round, give it everything you've got. It went headbutt him, kick him in the balls.
Yeah.
Bite him, everything for one. He was joking, obviously, but it was funny.
Yeah. Quality people.
He's brilliant.
Well, I first met him over when you were fighting in Milton Keynes.
Oh yeah. That's another funny story.
Yeah.
Because it was me, Hughie Fury was fighting in Milton Keynes, and I was on the end of the bill.
Hughie had a rematch with the guy he fought. That was a rematch, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Hughie was fighting. I forgot his name now. Quite a durable fella. He never stopped anyone.
Tough kid.
Hughie was fighting him. So I was the last fight on, and we're all in the same dressing room. So Hughie's gone out to fight, and I'm warming up, getting ready for my fight. When Hughie's won his fight, they've all come in the dressing room where I'm trying to warm up. There was Hughie, I think Peter, Tyson, everyone, loads. You've come in as my trainer, and you've gone, what's going on in here? Like, he's trying to warm up. Come on, everyone out. I'll never forget that. But yeah, you kicked everyone out so I could have a nice, quiet warm up and get myself ready. But it was
good. You done well. You boxed well that night.
Yeah.
Hungarian kid.
Yeah, Radek Linko. That was. He had 4, knocked all 4 out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my comeback fight. Yeah.
Yeah, totally outboxed. He got.
Yeah. But that's it. Yeah.
Totally
quite
outboxed.
Tough bloke he was.
Yeah.
But going back to the sparring. Over the years, I always wanted to spar the best. I sparred Danny Williams just before he beat Mike Tyson. Danny was lovely, one of my favourite.
Great. Still fighting.
I know, it's a shame.
But he looked in great shape.
Well, recently?
He's
taken a lot of losses, though.
Do you know what, Matt? I see a picture of him last week. He looked the best. The picture I've seen of him last week is the best he's ever looked.
That's surprising, yeah. He must be, I think he's about
46, 48.
He's one of the nicest boxers I've met as well. I love Danny.
Lovely fella.
I sparred with him a few times, and as I was only a novice, I think I had one pro fight. He was a British champ, but he went nice and easy. He didn't take the mickey.
Yeah,
he could have, because he was on his day.
Cracking fight.
Beaten anyone, I think.
Cracking fight. Look at that fight with Potter.
Mark Potter.
What a fight.
Yeah, fought with one arm, didn't he?
Dislocated shoulder, yeah.
Knocked Potter out. On his day, he was brilliant. Great skill, great power. I was there when he knocked out Carly Meehan. Remember Carly Meehan?
Yeah.
Knocked him out in about 30 seconds. But yes, I sparred with Danny. Michael Sprott did a lot with John McDermott. I sparred John McDermott the week before he fought Danny Williams.
Yeah.
And I broke 2 of John's ribs, and he still went in ahead with the fight. And I think he won the fight with Williams. With the first, I think there might be 2. But I had him down to win. And he fought with 2 broken ribs, John did. His very last sparring session. And he went in and won the fight. So John was tough.
So they never asked you back for any more sparring?
No, he did. A few years later, he got me back. He gave me a nice right-hander and gave me a little fuzzy head.
Little buzz, yeah.
But I think he's going to get me back on it. He's going to get me back on broken ribs. He did. I used to spar Roman Greenberg. I sparred Mark Potter.
Sam Sexton.
Some good rounds. Yeah. Huey Fury.
Yeah.
I sparred Huey and Tyson the same day.
Same day, I remember when you went up with Mervyn.
I sparred Huey, Tyson, and Eli Frankham all on the same day.
Eli's a lovely lad.
Yeah, a good bloke, Eli.
Great lad, Eli. Great time. And a lovely fighter.
Yeah. Matt Skelton, we did 150 rounds. Me and Matt Skelton, when he was European champ, every morning. I mean, I did a lot of my best work in the gym.
Yeah.
I never really got to do it in the ring. So a lot of the best stuff I did, which is a shame, was in sparring sessions.
Sorry. I've just had a memory there of the spar we had in the gym.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. My opponent didn't turn up for the
sparring partner.
You were only 12 stone.
12'7", 12'8".
I was about 17 stone.
Yeah.
But you got in and we've done a few rounds.
Yeah, it looked like I've been hit by a fucking bus.
I remember. Yeah. I like that. That's what I mean. You'll get in with sparring anyway, heavyweight.
It's boxing though, isn't it, mate? But the discipline and the routine and your diet. So compare prepping for a fight.
So what would happen, say I had a fight in 2 months, I would, number one, stop drinking. I would knock the alcohol in the head for that whole 2 months.
But that's discipline in itself, Matt. A lot of fighters can't do that.
I would knock it on the head. And it would then be, at some point, a lot of the time it was twice a day training. But I did sometimes 3 times a day. Yeah. So the first thing in the morning, run. I like sprint runs.
Sharp.
I'll do a long run, a couple of long runs. But I think that boxing, stair runs, sprint runs are beneficial because your heart rate's up and down.
Yeah.
So I would do sprint runs. I would do another run where I'd do half a mile in 3 minutes, which is for my size was quite a good time.
Good pace.
Minute, I'd walk for a minute, then do another half a mile in 3 minutes as fast as I could run. Do that as many times as I could because that gets you used to those 3 minute rounds.
Yeah.
Stair runs up and down stairs, so your heart rate's up, heart rate down. Because a boxing match isn't just a long, relaxed jog.
Nope.
So if you just do constant long runs, your heart rate's going to be constant.
Conditioned for a steady pace.
Yeah, conditioned for a mid-level pace. So you need to go to as high as it can go.
Max.
Down, up.
Yeah.
Just to replicate that boxing match. So then you run in the morning, your boxing session normally in the afternoon or evening time it was when I was with you.
Yeah.
And sometimes I did weights with boxing, other times I didn't.
But I think the old style of training, weights weren't really brought into the game for strength and conditioning. But now with the science, what we've got now, they are beneficial, done at the right time in a camp.
Yeah. Sports, you need it specific to your sport.
Yeah.
Your weight training.
Yeah.
No point in going out doing big, heavy bench presses.
Oh, well.
It's not relating to boxing.
No. But your things like squatting, your deadlifts, very, very beneficial now.
Definitely squatting because all your power is from your legs. Squatting is great for your punch power.
Yeah.
And whatever thing's called, where you stand up and you push.
Yeah.
What they're called.
Like you're doing a landmine or landmine press.
So anything where you're standing up and pushing will give you that strength.
Directional power line,
power, for your punches. Press up, explosive press ups.
Plyos,
yeah. To strengthen the core and anything related to getting the punches. Sledgehammer work. I love sledgehammer work. Axe chops. Punch power.
So, if you were just sparring now, if you know for the next 10 weeks maybe you're just going to be a sparring partner.
Yeah.
How would your discipline, routine, and diet change, or would you relax it a little bit? If you knew you were sparring a good level fighter.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When I sparred Matt Skelton a few times, I'd been out drinking for the whole weekend, and I had to go and spar him on a Monday morning.
Wow.
I'd been out for the whole weekend drinking, and I had to go and do 6 rounds or whatever. And I just think, but I turn up.
And he's been in bed every night at 9 o'clock.
He's been training. He's super fit as well.
Yeah.
I'd still go and do it. But when I would be on the ball, and I would be fit. So there's nothing worse than feeling tired and drained in a sparring session, because sparring,
you're in hell.
especially against the top level pros. You've got an 18-stone man hitting you, and you're not feeling it. It's
and it can do damage.
Yeah, it can do damage.
Yeah,
yeah,
big damage.
I mean, I only got rocked in sparring a couple of times. Michael Sprott rocked me. I blacked out for a second. He caught me with a combo, like an uppercut, left at right hand, and I went blank for a second, and then woke up on my feet, and he was still there. But all my energy drained out of me. Luckily, it was the last round.
Yeah,
I wasn't wobbly. I said to Jack Lindsay, I said, "What happened with them punches? And did I look wobbly?" And he said, "No." He said, "Michael got you with a combo on the chin, and then you just stood there still for a second, where I'd gone black."
Yeah.
And then I came out of it, and I was all right.
That's fitness.
Fitness, yeah. I was fit.
That's definitely fitness. Your recovery, you know, is so much quicker when you're on your
fit,
on your game. Yeah.
But sparring is it's rough, very rough.
So the route your road work and everything will still carry on with your sparring.
Yeah, road work. I'd always do my road work 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
A couple of long runs and a few sprints, and then the boxing sessions and my axe chops and stuff like that. Punch power.
Being a heavyweight, Matt, you know, a few heavyweights I know, because they're a heavyweight, they don't really concentrate too much on what they're eating or what they have to eat.
Yeah.
Were you very you know, disciplined with your food?
I've always been quite conscious of, because that's your fuel.
Yeah.
So I've always, even from the age of 13 when I was weight training, I'd always eat decent protein, carbs, and the right percentage of fat.
Yeah.
They say it's meant to be 60% carbs, 30% protein, and 10% fat. I think that's what they say. So I've always tried to maintain that. So you've got enough energy, enough protein to rebuild the muscles after, and enough fuel for your training.
Yeah.
And try and have 4 or 5 small meals a day, but like chicken, eggs, fish, rice, pastas and stuff like that. I have a lot of veg now. I'm on like a caveman diet now.
Like a keto.
I'll eat anything that's natural. So meat, veg, fruit, nuts, seeds.
Brilliant.
Nothing processed. I don't have any more.
No.
I'll have a treat meal at the weekend,
Yeah.
like a Chinese or something like that. But try and eat everything that's like was available hundreds of years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a paleo.
Yeah.
Brilliant diets.
Good diet, and you feel so much better when you eat healthy.
Yeah. So, just steering away from the boxing for a while, we didn't never touch down at all on your acting career, Matt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a career, but
a budding Brad Pitt.
Yeah. we did a few films, didn't we? So it started off actually. I love acting.
How did you get into it?
I love films, and I love that. But Ricky English got me into it in probably about 2001 when I was training with Ricky. He gets offered film parts for his boxers.
Yeah.
And there was a BBC One film called Hawkins. It starred Robert Lindsay, and it was about a detective, and we all played boxers in it. Me, Alan Edwards, Ricky.
Oh, old Robert Lindsay,
from my family. Yeah, the old Citizen Smith.
Citizen Smith, I remember him. Yeah.
So Robert Lindsay was in it, and we all went down and filmed for a couple of days in Watford as fighters, just as boxers. It was on BBC One.
Yeah. And
then I sort of got the love for it from that, because there was a few other people in it from Lockstock, Ronnie Fox and a few others. And then after that, he got another part in with Martin Kemp. You know Martin Kemp from Spandau Ballet?
Yeah.
It was called Serious and Organised, which was about an undercover. He'd gone from EastEnders to this. It was about an undercover cop, I think it was. And I played an unlicensed boxer having an unlicensed fight. So I got in and did that for 2 days with Martin Kemp. He was lovely as well.
So you were just being natural.
I was just being myself, yeah. And then I had Russell North, who asked if he could do a little film about me. It was only meant to be, it's called New City Fighter. And at first I was hesitant because I thought I don't deserve to have a film done about me. And Russell said, no, it'll be a little short 10, 15-minute film just about us. He said, what do you want it to be about? I said, well, if we're going to do one, just about how I went to prison, met Norman, and it turned my life around with the boxing. Yeah. I said, a positive message. That was what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Halfway through the filming, we put a little trailer out, and Big Joe Egan saw it, and he rung up and said, can I be in it? So I said to Joe, it's only a film with no money. It's not a proper film. It's like a no budget. There's no money, no actors. It's like a little pet project for Russell. And he said, no, I want to be in it. So we had to then expand the film to get Joe in it. And Jimmy Andrews came in it from Liverpool. And Norman's in it. So it became a bit bigger. We expanded it. And then it became like an hour long. But there's a lot of good little scenes in there, considering it was no actors and there was no money in it. And yeah, Russell North did that one, and we did a couple of Liam Galvin's films, didn't we?
Yeah,
Liam did Killer Bitch.
Yeah.
Which we're all in. Everyone was in that.
Yeah.
The whole,
I got a little whip in that as well. Yeah. Got a little scene in that.
Yeah, I'm in that as well.
Rob Reed.
Yeah, Rob Reed.
Norman.
Norman's in it. I fight Norman in that as well. So does Alex Reed. What else would Liam Galvin did as well? He did another one. But yeah, so I was in Bronson as well. Because I knew Charlie Bronson, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Bronson. I had a tiny little, you can blink and you'll miss it. But because I know Charlie's family, all of Charlie, through boxing, Charlie's family came to my gym. I had a gym. And they said, when Charlie gets out, would you be able to train here? This is about 2007. I said, if he gets out, he's more than welcome to come and train. Anyway, next thing I get a big letter from Charlie. He wrote to me saying, Matt, thank you so much. And he detailed all his training, what he does in the prison. He took a big 2-page letter. So he started to correspond with me, and I replied. And then me and Charlie became friends. And he asked me to go and visit him, and Home Office refused me to visit him for some reason.
Yeah, he's cut.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the reason was. The police came to interview me to get the pass to visit Charlie, and they just refused me. I don't know whether Milton Keynes police had it in for me or...
Yeah.
That's what Charlie said anyway. But yeah, me and Charlie became friends. He put me in some of his books, and he then said he had a film being made about his life. And would we go to London, me and Charlie's family, Lorraine, Andy, Darren, that's all Charlie's family. Would we go to London to meet the actor who was going to play him, which was Tom Hardy? And no one really knew. We didn't really know who Tom was then. This is 2007.
Yeah.
So all of me, Charlie's family went down to London, to the Blind Beggar it was, I think.
East End.
In the East End. Met Tom. It was like an introduction to meet Tom, and we were like, all right. And I'm thinking, oh, mate, nice of it. And me and Tom had a picture. Tom got a picture with me, which was crazy.
Can I have a picture with you?
Yeah, Tom got a picture with me, because I didn't know, which is unbelievable to think about it now. And then me and Tom sort of got to know each other. That's another thing. One of the highlights is Tom invited me to the Iron Man film premiere, which was one of them, you know, when you want to tick a box.
Yeah.
It's literally to go to a proper film premiere, the first Marvel film. And Tom called up and said, come down with me. It was Mark Fish, Tom and Toby Kebbell. So I met up with Tom and we walked down the red carpet, which was amazing. Robert Downey Jr. was there. And
wow.
I'll never forget that, yeah. To walk down red carpet like that. I was sitting in the cinema. Simon Pegg was sitting in front of me. Simon Pegg.
Yeah, the
he was
actor.
sitting in front of me. And when Iron Man got the suit on and flew, he jumped out of his seat and Simon Pegg was dropping his popcorn. It was amazing. But yeah, that's through boxing. So through boxing, you get to do those type of things. And
opens doors.
You've been out with Klitschko and
yeah.
You've had experiences with. You've been out
looking
with
after Ali.
Looking after Ali.
Yeah.
The amount of doors it opens up is
phenomenal. Yeah. Phenomenal.
Everyone respects and admires a boxer.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what they got. Same with for any fighters that dedicate themselves to that. People always have a respect for them, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And a well-deserved respect.
Yeah.
We put a lot of work in, and we don't always get the credit.
Yeah.
We command, really.
Yeah.
So your acting went on for a good while. Going back to the boxing, Matt, I'm going to touch on the George Groves Carl Frock fight. 90,000 people screaming. And I know in a lot of your other fights, you packed out wherever you sold. Most of the tickets sold were for you.
Yeah.
So in your career, there was a lot of adulation, a lot of support.
Yeah.
You know, what's it like? Because I know a lot of boxers kind of, when their careers end, you know, some boxers' careers end abruptly, some plan their retirement, you know, something we can't really. Sometimes it's something we can't really plan, or it can end so abruptly. It's a very vicious career in that respect. But when your career ends, you know, and there's no audience and there's no adulation, there's no support. How did you get through? You know, because it regardless of what we think, it affects a lot of fighters massively. You know, their mental health really gets battered. So
I mean, it's affected people like Frank Bruno. It really affected to be at that world level, and he suffered from bipolar and depression, and anxiety,
and still is.
Still is now. I see Frank occasionally, and he's still Frank trains 3 times a day now. So he trains 3 times a day to keep away those demons. As you know, same with you, same with me. Training keeps those demons away, but I think that's the secret. When I didn't actually retire. When I had the fight with Anthony Joshua, I was meant to fight a month later for the Southern Area title. I was lined up. I was booked in for the Southern Area title. And it was less than a month away, I think it was. And because I got a broken eye socket, I was looking forward to fighting, because anyone who comes after AJ, I thought, would seem easier.
Easier. Yeah. Light work.
I've been in with AJ, so the next fight for the Southern Area, that's not going to trouble me.
Yeah.
And as it happens, I got a broken eye socket in the fight, so I had nerve damage for 3 months. On the right side of my face was numb for 3 months, so I couldn't fight in the Southern Area fight. And in that time, I ended up getting a job in Liverpool, thanks to my mate Adam Greenfield.
I remember this.
And I was working in Liverpool, so I went to Liverpool for a year, and then that was it. I just fell out of boxing, even though I was dying to get back in. And I wanted to capitalise from the AJ fight.
Keep the momentum.
Keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Because even though I got knocked out, well, not knocked out, stopped in the fight, I'd gone out and attacked, and I'd actually pushed him back, and I'd slipped under shots, and I was 38 years old, so I was old in boxing terms. But I wanted to capitalise on that and move on a bit, and maybe get Southern Area, move up to maybe English level. But I just fell out of the boxing then with work, and that was it. But what I did, I always try and, like you say, train, eat well. Don't let anything I don't like staying indoors too long. I always have to get out in fresh air, and don't let any of those demons come in, and the depression and stuff like that.
Because you do a bit of, you PT a few people, you teach them the discipline.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of PTs before. I trained a whole team and trained like a pro. We had a team that was brilliant, that was as well. It was Milton Keynes versus Aylesbury, a team of 20 versus a team of 20 from Aylesbury.
Brilliant. And
we trained them up at their first fights. It was their white collar. That was brilliant. I enjoyed that. And a lot of my mates from the team, and they all went out. A brilliant night that was.
Yeah, I can see how passionate you are, Matt, when you talk about it, and just keeping your hand in that mix. It's just...
You know what it's like, boxing, like we say about the kids, I'm trying to encourage my children. Now, well, Matt, they're doing it, so I'm trying to get my middle son into it. But boxing just gives you that... the confidence,
there's a special
lifestyle.
Yeah,
your whole lifestyle changes, and you want to focus on that.
Yeah,
it just draws you away from hanging around on the streets.
There's a special magic with boxing, Matt, where anyone from any walk of life, is welcome in any boxing gym. You know, I don't know any boxing gym that don't open its doors to anybody, any nationality, any level of social standing. They're all welcome in a boxing gym, and from every single gym I know, there's no judgment, there's no resentment. It's all, you're just a family as soon as you get in.
Yes, you normally find in boxing gyms.
But that's what the sport, that's what it breeds. It breeds respect, confidence. Yeah. But you do a lot of charity work as well, Matt, what is very unsung. People don't really know the work you put in for charities.
I mean, what we're trying to do now is moving forward. There's a few things in the pipeline that we're looking at. Our friend Danny B. Danny B. He's at the minute talking to counsellors. I think the same with what you're doing as well. Is trying to get venues for boxing gyms in another person I want to mention, Cole Haniff as well. He's in Milton Keynes. He's doing keeping kids off the street, which is another thing where he's got some boxing gyms opening in Milton Keynes. So he needs a mention. Same if you're doing it, Danny B's doing it.
Dennis Palmer's getting involved.
Dennis Palmer's doing it.
Great man, Dennis.
They're up in Corby. So you've got all these areas, hopefully, if it comes off, they're going to have some venues for boxing clubs and fight nights. So charity nights where the kids can go out and box.
These are kids. Are you going to be targeting? Because I know, from my side of the deal, I'm going to target kids who are at a crossroads in life.
Yeah.
They're either going to go down the path of crime, or they're going to come down the path what we know is going to benefit them. That's boxing and the discipline it commands. Is that?
Yeah, it's exactly the same as that.
Brilliant.
Just trying to change the lives of the ones that could end up in prison, could end up even dead.
Yeah.
So
well, Matt, that's the only options they've got with knife crime and gang crime, and there's two options. You're going to prison for a long time, or you're going to die.
100%. It's the only way. I've seen it firsthand last couple of years in Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
My son's had machetes pulled out of him twice now in the last 3 months. Gang of 9 or 10. He's only 16 as well. Surrounded him. Daytime this was. Hoodies on, little scarves on. Pulled knives out on him. He's had to chin a couple. Run into a shop, and there's like a little back and forth going on in the shop where he's trying to stand his ground. And these people doing it are older. They're driving cars. They're 18, 19, having a go at 16-year-olds.
Wow.
So it's worrying. He's defended himself and swung a knife at him. He's hit him, and he's only 16. He doesn't even do boxing. So I'm trying to encourage him to go to the gym.
Yeah.
My older son had it when he was younger. He's away from it all now. I've got a 12-year-old son, so I'm encouraging him to stay away from that path because it's just never seen it so bad. I've never seen it so bad in terms of knife crime, and just a friend of mine's son, 14-year-old, got jumped the other week and knocked unconscious by another gang of older kids.
But you see, there's nothing these kids need more than a
guidance.
They need a mentor. They need mentors in their life. They need role models. They need a lot of guidance, Matt. But they need to get, these kids. I don't know why they don't just try a boxing gym.
Yeah.
Because I know myself personally. Once you try it, that's it.
Yeah.
It's got you. It's the most addictive.
Yeah.
And as I think the most basic instinct known to man is to fight, but under a disciplined, organised, controlled environment, it teaches you not just discipline for the sport, I think, but discipline for life.
Yeah, it does. Respect for others. Confidence in yourself. Yeah, because when you're confident in your ability, you don't really want to go throwing your weight around.
No, you don't have to.
No.
You don't have to.
A lot of the fighters I know, the good fighters, won't go out, and they'd rather not fight. I'd rather talk my way out of a fight. If I can win without fighting, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hit people.
Yeah.
When you're trained fighter, you have that confidence. You know you can do it if you want to.
Yeah.
But only if you had to do it.
Yeah.
But it teaches you, the discipline, the respect for others. And when you get fit, and when you win that fight, there's no better feeling than winning a fight.
And it's a straight fight.
Yeah. No better feeling, and it's a natural buzz, and you wake up the next day and you still feel great, and you watch the video, and it's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Whereas there's nothing to be proud of with what these kids are doing now.
No. What you said there a minute ago about when you know you can do it. I was lucky enough to be at the St Pancras Amateur Boxing Club when Hagler met Hearns for the first time since 1985.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Hearns went to a hospital in Detroit. No, Hearns went to one hospital in Vegas and Hagler went to another hospital in Vegas. And they never had the after-fight press conference when they were together. So Manny Stewart and Mickey Duff brought them over to the opening of the Kronk Gym 2001, around that time.
Yeah.
I was working with Sky Sports at the time, and a pal I was with down there. Now, we were in the room, Matt, and there was Lennox Lewis, Danny Williams, Takaloo,
All in this.
Hagler, Hearns,
That's,
you know, absolute legends. And a pal said to me, we were with an old guy, Winston Hughes, and my pro trainer, John Cox. A pal said to me, and when Winston answered it, this old guy, he was 86 years old, mate. He used to make the silicone gum tubes. He was an absolute legend. My pal looked at me and said, God, if it kicked off in here tonight, it'd be some fight, wouldn't it? Well, my pal Winston has just turned straight round. He said it'd never kick off in here tonight. He said, because these boys can really fight.
Yeah.
And it just said it all, you know. It sums it up. You know, these are probably Hagler, Hearns, Lennox, you know, Takaloo, Danny Williams, probably some of the best fighters at the time on the planet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Safest place you should be in, and no one's going to keep on.
And you know, Matt, there was no security at the venue.
Yeah.
You didn't need security at a venue like that with them.
You don't, yeah.
Not with them kind of clients. Do you know what I mean? You don't need
it.
Because they'd never kick off.
Yeah.
Never ever kick off. There was one doorman on the front of the gym just stopping anyone who didn't have tickets or whatever to get in.
Respect in there will do it by itself.
Yeah,
respect.
yeah.
People there in respect to these people, so.
And you see, once you know once a kid gets into the boxing, you don't just get respect off other people. He starts to respect himself, and that I think is where a lot of these, you know, kids are going. Well, because look,
because you're finding who you are. You find out who you are and what you're
capable of,
and
what your potential is,
right way,
and what your potential is. Because
you
know, they're going out. They're I think the peer pressure a lot now for these kids is absolutely horrible.
Crazy.
You know, they're expected to carry a knife by their pals who they've probably grew up with and played, you know, football and whatever all their lives, and now all of a sudden they're expected by their best pal to carry a knife because he is, or his pal is.
Or the people that are having a go at them are. Yeah. So they're self-defense. They've got to carry them in defense.
Yeah. You know, it's such a vicious.
And you've got Snapchat going around with just constant back and forth, and I've heard Snapchat and videos.
Yeah.
So it's like a pressure to do that.
Yeah. See, the opportunities, you know, don't really present themselves to a lot of these kids anymore because they're not looking for the opportunity because of the pressure they're under.
Yeah.
You know, on the social media side of things. Yeah. Even on the streets.
Social media's got a lot to answer for.
Massive.
For not just that, in a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
Because we were around before social media.
Oh,
it was a lot better time.
I still don't. Still don't know how to use them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't like a lot of what I'm seeing. You've got a lot of. You've now got the opportunity for bullies who can't do it face to face.
Yeah.
They can now bully people through social media.
Keyboard warriors.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
So you've got this access to pick on people and hurt people's feelings through YouTube comments or through Facebook.
Yeah.
But I was saying to Danny B the other day, it was a lot better time before social media. Because now you've got, not only that, women have got issues with how they look because.
Well, I was just going to say.
Everywhere, you've got filters going on and people looking different and living up to that. And I always just think, well, just be yourself. Yeah. Be yourself, because you're going to meet people on the street, and if you're all filtered, it's just be who you are.
Yeah. You
can't hide who you are, and there's pressure to look like all these people are doing. Even men are doing it. Just pressure to look. It's unattainable, really. Some of it.
Yeah. Well, it's not real. It's not just real. Not real.
And social media definitely
got a lot to answer for.
Problems.
Yeah. Jesus, back in the day, Matt,
back in the day, with a landline.
Yeah.
With a landline, and you had 3 channels on the TV.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get hold of someone, you've got to wait till they come in.
Yeah.
Oh, someone called for you, and you pick the phone up, but it's just.
Yeah.
You had 3 channels. You had no. There's some good things about it. Don't get me wrong. There is some good things about it.
There is their advantages, but I think a lot of these young kids are using it for the wrong advantages now.
Yeah.
And they're taking away not just other kids' confidence, but they're taking away their own choice.
Yeah.
You know, we could when we were young, like, we could walk round the corner, we're in a boxing gym.
Yeah.
We could walk round the other corner, we're in a community centre.
Yeah, no, nothing.
You know, we could walk onto a park. I don't see kids play football no more on parks.
And if you think of how the population's increased, compared to everyone was boxing in the 40s and 50s.
Everybody.
And the 60s, everyone was boxing. But
It was on a school curriculum till 1952.
Yeah, population's doubled, I think, or something like that since then.
Yeah.
And there's less and less and less of the clubs.
Yeah.
Which is, that's what
sad.
needs to be reintroduced is the
Discipline of boxing.
boxing, sports in general, but boxing especially.
Yeah, yeah. For the confidence, the respect it breeds in kids, because it doesn't breed anything but confidence and respect.
Yeah, and a focus on a positive aspect.
Yeah.
Rather than focusing on. I mean, I'm guilty as well. When I was young, I focused on fighting, being a fighter, not a boxer, street fighter, but which is similar type thing. But I wanted to be a fighter for the fist.
Yeah.
So I'm guilty of it as well. But I then channeled it to boxing.
But once you found that discipline,
once I found boxing,
what happened?
Yeah. So I was wayward as well.
Yeah.
But the boxing channeled it in that way.
Yeah. I was a little fucker.
Yeah.
I was a little fucker, Matt. But as soon as boxing got me, everything started to get different and change, and you know, the positives and.
Yeah.
So the charity we're looking to do. I know Den spoke to me recently about sitting down, probably just after the Christmas. We're going to try and go for that in March, April time.
Charity boxing,
yeah.
That would be brilliant, yeah.
And I think we've got to get, you know, we've got to give some of the profits to the knife crime, victims of knife crime.
Yeah, definitely. And highlight it, and it'll be just to keep it in there. I mean, I've noticed as well, someone said this to me, where's all the news about knife crime gone lately? It's all about COVID. So where's all the news about the knife crime?
Yeah.
It's just been taken up by that. So it is good to keep highlighting the knife crime. And I can also mention as well, Brian Cockrell, because his website, he's did a knife crime video the other day. Brian and Emma, born again Christians as well.
Yeah.
He's all for the kids doing well and positivity, not getting stopping knife crime. So I'll give them a mention as well.
Yeah. Well, while we're mentioning people, I'd just like to mention Norman Buckland's got his book coming out.
Yeah.
January.
Norman